Hi, everybody. Welcome to From the Ground Up. From the Ground Up is a podcast where we talk to entrepreneurs about how they've grown their businesses and how they've persevered through the challenges and managed the successes throughout their history. Today, I'm really excited. We have Richie Huffman of Celebree. In Celebree, you probably have heard, they have preschools all over the country. It's an incredibly successful business. Richie's story is unique. An entrepreneur from a very young age. He built a real estate empire. He had tanning salons. He worked at, in the bakery business, and then he found the business that he would build his future on. And he's taken it from that, and he's built it not only to an incredible franchise business, but he's also turned those skills that took him to that place and brought it to his family, brought it to his future endeavors around philanthropy. It's an exciting story. It's a story where we're going to take a lot of important information out, and I am really excited for you to hear this conversation. Well, welcome to From the Ground Up, Richie. Good to have you here.
Good. Thank you for having me, Leo.
Yeah, this is long overdue. I mean, you've built an incredible business in the community, and it's been fun to watch. I mean, you and I have known each other for some time through mutual friend Mike Harris, and and it's been, ever since I met you, it's just been fun to watch the story.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like anything else, it's like when you drive down the road, right, and you look at a car, I don't know, pick one, a Porsche, and you suddenly notice there's a lot of Porsches
right
here, right? And it's the same thing when we first met and we talked about Celebree and the franchises and what you had built. Suddenly I'm driving around and I said, damn, there's a lot
They're
of
everywhere.
These. Yeah, there's a lot of franchises. You've done just an incredible job building this business.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit though, before we dig directly into that and where you are today. We just talked about how large the business is. How did you find this path? I know your path is different. You don't have the same, let's say, traditional education path, and I know you're familiar with this business from your family. Maybe you can just talk a little bit about how your upbringing, and then how you found this particular niche in the business world.
Sure. Well, I would start with, as you said, Leo, my childhood, and I came from a very hard working class family. My mom hates when I say this, but I believe that we were the richest, one of the richest, poorest families in the neighborhood.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like everybody in our neighborhood was poor.
Right.
We just didn't know it because my parents always made sure that we had nice things.
Right.
So we always had the mongoose bikes. We always had.
I had a mongoose.
Did you?
I
See?
had a mongoose.
And I remember how much that mongoose cost. It was $350 because I remember my dad blowing a gasket because of how much my mom spent on these mongoose bikes. But we had the bicycles, we had the horse, the pony, the mini bike. So nobody in our neighborhood had those things. So we always felt like we were the richest family in the neighborhood, and we were far from it. We were just like everybody else, working class people trying to make it. But there was a switch in my life where, in growing up, I for some odd reason, I did not do well in school. Did not like school. High school, went to Perry Hall High School. Knew that I was not going to go to college. But there was a very pivotal moment in my life where my mom and dad always worked very hard. My dad worked 6 days a week. And my mom one day came home and said that she was going to open a preschool. And I'm like, you're going to do what? My mom was a controller for Oak Contracting. Oh, okay. Still around back when Tommy Gray was running it. And so I watched them build this business. And next thing I know, maybe 5 years into this, my mom came home and she's like, we're building a new house. I'm like, we're doing what? Yeah. And this house is, it's going to have a hot tub in our bedroom and a fireplace. I'm like, what is happening?
Right. What's going on here?
Right. But I associated entrepreneurship and owning your own business with freedom and wealth creation
Early.
And that was the day that I knew that I was not going to work for anybody else.
That's fascinating. Yeah, that's great. It's so funny. The book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I talk about that a lot. You and I, we've talked about this. We grew up very similarly. Mine in the Trenton area, New Jersey, same thing. Like family struggled to get by, and we had some rough spots. And, in the Rich Dad, Poor Dad thing, your mom is Rich Dad.
Yes.
right? Entrepreneurial. She saw it. She had this vision that this is how we get to a different place.
Yes.
We take risk. And my dad, God bless him, worked multiple jobs. He was a teacher and a football coach and a juvenile corrections officer and anything just to get our family through it. And he was the other.
Yeah.
Never take risks. As a matter of fact, he tried to pound into our head that you should be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or an accountant, because those are the most steady pay jobs.
Right.
Right.
And probably pay the most, right?
Yeah, pay a lot, but they're steady and it's low risk. And, even when I was a kid, even starting with the paper routes and doing all the jobs, and I just always, to me, you just always see, and I don't know what the trigger is. And this is why I don't think it's only what you see. I think it's who you are, right? It's like, hey, I'm going to go do this and make money and give myself freedom.
Yeah.
Right. And you caught that from your mom. It's a great lesson.
Yeah. And I remember her coming home and, back then, a lot of tuition payments were paid in cash. And I remember her opening her pocketbook up and taking this big wad of cash, and I'm watching her count it. And, she would complain about the day, but the next day she was back at it.
Right.
And I was like, I want that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I want the freedom. I know it's not going to be easy. But I love that control. Yeah. I love controlling our own destiny. So, so I did not, as I mentioned, did not go to college, went right into working with my dad. My dad was in the bakery business. I got up at 3:00 in the morning and loaded my truck and went and delivered bakery products until about 11 o'clock. Back then I was probably making about this was 88.
Okay. I'm
making about $700 a week cash. And one day my mom came in my bedroom. She said, you have $14,000 in your bank account? I go, yeah, I put it there.
Right.
And she said, you're going to go buy a piece of real estate. I said, oh, okay. So
how old are you now?
I'm right out of high school. I'm 20.
Okay.
I'm 18.
All right.
And I said, okay. So I don't know how we even got there or who we even used, but next thing you know, I'm buying a townhouse down 4351 Shamrock right here in Baltimore. And I bought that.
That's not emblazoned in your mind, is it?
No. Well, right, 4351 Shamrock. And what's this? This is 30 years ago. Paid $60,000 for it. I converted it into 2 apartments. I got $450 for the bottom. I got $325 for the top, and my mortgage was $556. So I was making $200, and I thought that I was in the real estate business.
Right.
So on that truck for the next 7 years, every day, my goal was one thing. It was how many more $14,000 can I save so I can buy more real estate. And at the end of that journey, I had 24 apartments, and I was in the real estate business.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. Yeah, we had businesses with bags of cash in Trenton, but those are a little different.
Yeah, and so my mom was a huge. So your question, my mom was a huge mentor for me, not only in early education, but very early.
So when did it cross over? When did she stop pushing and realize you were running on your own?
She still pushed. What, are you kidding me? I still haven't earned that right.
That was
yet.
A setup.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm getting up at 3:00 in the morning. I'm running my bakery route. Right. I'm saving my money. I'm buying real estate. So when I finish my bakery route at 11 o'clock, I'm out hunting for real estate, or I'm painting handrails, collecting money, or moving somebody out. And then 1992, my mom comes in my bedroom again. She's like, you know what's hot right now? I said, what, Mom? She goes, tanning salons. Tanning salons are hot right now. Okay, Mom. So next thing you know, I'm out hunting for real estate for a tanning salon, found it, opened, totally tantalized. And so now I'm in the bakery business, I'm in the real estate business, and I'm in the tanning and nail salon business. I tell my kids all the time, how many kids today, Leo, if you walked in their bedroom and gave them a good idea, would say, I love that, or okay, or get out of my bedroom?
Right.
Probably the latter.
The latter all day long, right? The latter.
So I listen. But
to be fair, I think, I think this generation is obviously different, and everybody talks about this, right? Mm-hmm. Is the question of the entrepreneurial of the generation. But what I would say is, I think when you were doing this, it was the same. I mean, I think people were more interested in variable comp then, and it might have been a little bit different, but at the end of the day, entrepreneurial spirit and true entrepreneurs are as rare today as they were then.
I would agree with that.
I think you're shortchanging yourself to say back then everybody
I just listened.
said it. Right.
Yeah, I just listened.
I just listened.
Yeah.
Either you have that or you don't.
That is so true. That is so true. And then, you know, so I'm doing all that. And in 1994, my mom, I come home and my mom said, I have a meeting tomorrow with a gentleman named Jack Pector. I don't know if you remember that name, but Jack Pector owned, which now is Kemco. And I was like, wow, I've never met a man who owned shopping centers before.
Right, yeah.
So it goes back to your entrepreneur spirit and your curiosity to learn. And so I ran my bakery out that morning, and I came home and I put my nice clothes on, and my mom and I took off to go meet Mr. Pector out in the Enchanted Forest Shopping Center in Ellicott City. And Mr. Pector wanted my mom to open up a preschool in his shopping center because he saw her school in White Marsh. And my mom said, I'm not riding 40 minutes to do this. And I said, I raised my hand and I said, I'll do it. And she said, okay. So we opened the school. It was wildly successful from day one. Went back. So remember, I'm running the bakery. I got the tanning salon. I got the real estate, and now I'm in the early education business. So 2 years into this, I said, I can't do all this.
Yeah, you hit capacity.
I hit a brick.
Right.
And I'm working 7 days a week, all day, which I could. I was single. And I went back, sold the bakery, sold the real estate, sold the tanning salon, and I knew that this is what I wanted to dedicate my life to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an amazing path at that age.
Yeah.
Right. But I think it speaks to a few things, right? The start of your story, it's fascinating. It speaks to a couple different things, right? One, college is great. If you learn something, you make contacts. And, what I tried to encourage my kids when they went to college is learn how to do things, it's more than just what's in the books.
Yeah.
How do you interact? How do you network, right? Learn work ethic. And you didn't need college for that, right?
No.
You got that through experience.
Hands-on.
And that's, listen, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so when you hit the age where all your friends were coming out of college, you had years of experience and you had built already up a business, a mini empire.
Yeah, I already had.
Which I'm sure you thought was a giant.
Already had a nice net worth by the time, they were actually, most of them were probably in debt from their college loans, and I was actually creating income and creating net worth.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the story, and I think the other part of the story is, and I love this moment, right, in your history. I love this moment because I talk about this all the time with entrepreneurs and with the entrepreneurial folks that we have as advisors here at Verdance. And that is, capacity is a real issue, right? Capacity, especially for entrepreneurs. It's the best growers that have the most problem with that. And the difference between the successful entrepreneur and the person who's just good at growing a business is that recognition, right? And how you handle it, how you manage that. Right. How to have the courage to change so that you can now open up new capacity and grow at a different level. Change is hard, right? So growth-oriented people are one thing. Entrepreneurs embrace the change.
Yes.
And
it's the only way you can grow.
Big change.
It's the only way you can grow.
You got a real estate empire. You got businesses. You're making money. You're doing great. And you said, hey, I've got this idea. Why don't I just sell all this stuff?
Right.
Everything that I know that's made me differentiated in my world.
Yes.
And I'm just going to go do something that I don't know anything about.
Right.
Right. That's pretty fascinating.
And be able to focus. That's the important part there, right? Just go all in on something that I've become very, very, very passionate about.
Right. And so when you were going through that decision, and you're selling this stuff, and you're doing that, I mean, were you looking back over your shoulder, or was it always charged forward?
No, it was charged forward. I was excited about the new opportunity, but the neighborhoods that I had the real estate in was changing, so I knew it was time to get out. I knew tanning salons would probably only last for so long, so I got out. So the path forward was very, very, very easy for me, and the path forward and what was pulling me was all the real true benefits that I saw in early education. It's just so rewarding in so many different ways. Yeah. But as you said earlier, like those early days, whether I was running the bakery or whether I was at the tanning salon, I was selling.
Right. Right.
We're always selling.
Selling
right?
And growing, selling and growing.
So at the age of 20, I had to learn how to sell. whether that's a tanning package or nails or whatever package it may be, or bakery products. I got that early education of selling.
Yeah. Well, and if you're not moving, if you're not selling, if you're not growing, if you're not moving forward,
You're going backwards.
it's not a neutral.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
That's one of the
no
biggest
neutral.
mistakes that non-entrepreneurial people don't understand. It's like, hey, this is good. I used to do a talk called Breaking Plateaus when I used to go around to Merrill Lynch and talk to advisors, breaking plateaus. And that's what it was about. It was about people get to a plateau where it's hard to change, and they look around, they're like, okay, I got the car I want, the wife I want, the house I want, I've got the golf club I want. I'm good.
I'm good.
And that is a recipe for, just decay.
I don't know how people think that way. Like, let's go all in.
Right.
And I don't mean in a crazy way. I mean just like, I don't know. Let's see what we're capable of.
See what we're capable of.
See what we're capable of doing here,
That's
and let's build the teams to see what we're capable of.
Yeah. So okay. So now you shift. So now you're a owner in early education.
Yep.
You have this preschool, and you're making this change. So now you're hiring people.
Yep.
They're different kind of people, right? Different, and you have your mom back there.
Yes, I do.
Who's done this, right? So
Yep.
so you have this example which to go from, and she sounds like a pretty forceful example.
Yes, she is.
Which is wonderful. So now you start this. So.
Yep.
Early on, did it take right off? Were there challenges early on, or were you in pretty good shape from the beginning?
The first school took off immediately.
That's great.
It was a home run from day one. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had people in place. Like, I'm not qualified to run a preschool, but my mom helped me hire the teachers and the directors and the assistant director to do that. And so I learned from them, but they also learned from me, because what I didn't know how to do was sell.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So when parents came into that door, I was very good at that customer service, that relationship building, and showing them the benefits that their child would receive at a Celebree school.
Right.
So while he's successful, 1994 was the first one. I was 26 years old.
Okay.
Opened the second one in 96. That did not ramp up as fast. I remember saying, if we don't get this together, we're gonna have to board up the windows. I remember like that was yesterday, and we got it together. But there was a very pivotal point, because I remember I was in that school during the day. The phone rings. I remember this gentleman called. He's from Florida. He says, "Mr. Huffman, this is such and such, and I'm down here in Florida, and we're putting these security cameras in these preschools down here. I'd love to stop by and give you a demonstration, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Well, how much is it, sir?" He goes, "The normal package is around $12,500. So I said, "Okay, I'll call you back." I was so excited. I called my mom, and I said, "Mom, this guy called from Florida. They're putting these cameras in preschools. I mean,
Right.
This was never heard of
Right.
before." And my mom said, "How much is it?" And I said, $12,500. She said, "We can't afford that right now." Right. I hung the phone up, Leo. I called the guy and I said, "What time can you be here?" and that's when I knew that I had to do this on my own.
Right.
I could not be this. This had to be my thing.
The business cord has been cut.
Yes, and that was the cord.
Right.
And and so we put the cameras in, and it was a game changer. Wow. How we afforded it, I guess we could. We're still here, right?
Right.
And move through it. And I knew that was the day that I love you, Mom, and thank you, and you're my mentor. But I'm gonna have to make decisions on my own here if I really want this to truly be my vision.
And so you have this troubled this location,
Mm-hmm.
right? And was that one decision? I mean, did that make that? Was it that decision that changed the trajectory in and of itself?
I don't think so. I mean, again, it's risk and reward for me, and it's always, what is the worst case scenario here?
Right.
And to me, I'm 26 years old.
Yeah.
I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I don't have I'm not married. I have no children. Yeah. So my worst case scenario was that I'd be homeless. Like that in my head, that was like the worst case scenario. And I'll never be homeless because I can always go back to my bedroom.
Right.
So it was go time.
That's great. There's so many takeaways here, right? So many takeaways in that story, right? One, I'll give you a few that we love. And we like to talk about these takeaways, right? Because there's a lot of young future entrepreneurs that like to listen to this,
Yeah.
and folks that don't know all about you are going to listen to this. And I think so many takeaways. One, I love that this idea. Look, I went and hired experts. I don't know, teachers, directors. I'm going to go hire smart people who are great at what they do.
Yes.
Right. Our saying around here, right, Michelle, run 100 miles an hour and feel like you're walking. So if you, Richie Huffman, are trying to do all this other stuff, you're doing the exact opposite.
Yep.
Right. You're walking and feel like you're running. So you hire professionals, you let them work and do their thing, and you bring your expertise in over top. And I just, so many people want to control, and that's not entrepreneurial.
You're not growing. You will not grow.
Right. That's exactly right. And the other piece, which I love, is this risk-taking part.
Yeah.
Right. And that is that's not to say that every new thing is great. Right. There has to be discernment. I'm a big good to great guy. So, you shoot rifle shots, and when you get it on target, then you shoot the cannonballs. And that's what you did. You listened to this, you saw the vision of it. I'm going to implement it. I'm going to try this out here. And now there's a trend, right? Which now it has to be in everyone today.
Yes.
So that's great, right? And you took a financial risk, you took a business risk, but more importantly, you just didn't throw the money out there. You had a vision for what it is, how you were going to sell it, and how it was going to change the business.
Yeah, I went around before we started. I went around and visited all my competitors.
Yeah.
And took what I liked, left what I didn't want, and said, okay, this is the vision that I have for our preschool.
Right.
And then even when we went into the franchising, I did the exact same thing.
That's great. Whose kid did you borrow to go around to all the preschools? Did you bring a kid around?
Oh, no, that's great. No, I just said I'm looking. No, not at that point. We still do that today. We still secret shop today.
Yeah.
So it's funny you said that.
This is my son. Doesn't look anything like him. Looks like his mother.
And why did he drive?
Right. Kid's got a beard.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, so now you're picking up some steam. So you got two. You're getting successful. When was the moment where this thing went hockey stick?
So
and did you know it at that moment that you were ready to go?
I still don't feel like we're in a hockey stick.
Well, to be fair, you are, but that's fair.
Like I have and I think that's what kind of makes me humble a little bit and hungry.
Right.
That I don't view it that way. I'm like today.
Right.
Today, right? Every year, every quarter, we're pushing and fighting for that vision to come alive. But so through the years, we became the largest and still the largest provider of preschool services in the state of Maryland with 28 locations. And I was bored. I woke up and I'm like, okay, we've built this amazing company, this great executive team that's really running the day-to-day operations. Like I'm struggling to get out of bed with a purpose.
Right.
And so in one of our meetings, I'm like, what are we going to do? I'm bored. We can either continue to grow by 3 or 4 schools every year corporately. I'd still be bored, or we can grow franchising. And that intrigued me. It intrigued me in a couple different ways. The pace of that growth, but also offering this to other families and sharing with them, the playbook, as you mentioned, that we have in place to win.
Right. No, that's an important moment, right? Because and this is where you have to be honest with yourself, right? A lot of entrepreneurs are really good at taking something from 0 to a number, but taking it from that number to a substantially larger number is a different skill set. Some people have both skill sets.
I'm learning that right now, Leo.
Yeah. Not everybody has both skill sets. And by the way, some people aren't really a 0 to a number person.
Yeah.
But they can be very entrepreneurial from instead of A to B, from B to Z.
Yeah.
They can be very entrepreneurial. So, that's an interesting moment for you because you had hit your moment.
Yes.
Right? Where, okay, this is your determination, Peter principle time. Am I there, or am I still at the beginning of my, of my development?
Yeah.
And that franchise idea that's a pivotal moment. That's when you know it or not, made the declaration, no, I'm not there yet. I still have further to go.
When you just said in your pivotal moment, like in your development, you're spot on, and that's really what created that boredom.
Right.
right? Like I felt like there's nothing more for me to give here from my personal development.
Yeah.
So, you know, if I go to franchising, which we did, that's going to challenge me to be better than I am today.
Yeah.
And that's what I was hungry for. And man, am I being challenged today.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had to travel a day in my life, right? And now we're in 19 different states and 75 schools open.
That's fantastic.
And I am not who I was, 3 years ago.
No, but if you were,
Yeah.
I mean, this wouldn't be this story.
It would be- and when, yeah,
And what would you be, lower handicap golfer?
Yeah.
Okay, so be it.
who has time for that?
Yeah, right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And so, are you having fun?
I'm having fun because I'm having to change.
Yeah.
And I'm having to step my game up. Right. I'm having to the whole team. I'm super proud of our team. Right? Some of our folks have been with us 26, 21 years.
That's great.
They didn't have to do this with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like we have upset the apple cart in so many different ways. Like I've never had to travel a day in my life
Right.
with being all the schools being here to Baltimore. My team has never had to travel. Now we're leaving our families for days. And you didn't have to do this with me. Right. I chose to do this. And I didn't know how that would go, to be honest with you, because I'm not leaving my family.
Right.
But this team has absolutely just stepped up, and we're gone for a couple of days at some point.
I had that when I took a job at Merrill, and I thought it was going to be a big impact. But every day, my wife had my bag packed and was walking me out the front door. She was like, "Hey, have fun."
It's so funny. My wife, for probably the first 6 months, was like, "I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this," and now she's just like, "Have a good trip, babe." Yeah. She knows what we're out there trying to accomplish, and it's something really, really, really big.
It's pivotal having that support.
Yes,
that's a big deal. I talk about my beautiful wife Marcy, and oh my God, the decisions!
Thank you, Lord. Right?
Yeah, the decisions I made her make were just astonishing. No, I've been where you are. When I was at Merrill Lynch, I was one of the higher ranked teams and was making a lot of money, and life was really easy.
Yeah.
Really easy. It was just, you're kind of just doing your thing. I mean, listen, you still have to watch the markets and take care of clients, but I mean, from an entrepreneurial's mind, it was just a stream of income. Mm-hmm. And to your point, I was like, man, this is not what I've envisioned in my life.
Right.
Like I'm not there, and this is not motivating me at all.
Yeah.
And that's when we left and eventually built what is today Verdant's, right? And to this day, my wife says to me all the time, "I've never seen you work harder and have more fun."
Yeah, there you go.
Right, and we're still trying to build this thing out nationally, which is so it's a very similar feeling. I understand the feeling.
Yeah.
So now what? Now what gets you? Now what? So now you got the franchise model, right?
Yep.
And so you built the successful business. You made the changes. Now you have this franchise model. Yep. So you built a book. Right, and I mean a book of instructions, and these folks come to you, and they're looking to build a business, and you're delivering them this methodology. Is it consistent in your franchises because of what you've built? I mean, tell me a little bit about what that's like. Well, yeah, tell me a little bit what that's like, because that's different, right? Taking a successful business, franchising it, and then having all of these folks, which obviously you bring in because you have confidence in them.
Yep.
But everybody looks at it differently. You've created the roadmap, right? Do they follow directions?
Well, you hit it on now with the first bit. Like, it's a relationship,
right?
So you better know who you're getting into a relationship with.
Everything in business,
right? The playbook doesn't matter if the person's wrong,
right?
Because they're not going to follow your playbook. So over the years, we have developed a very great vetting system of competencies that we're looking for in our owners, and so they'll come through the sales cycle, if you want to call it, to the award, and then our COO and our Chief Talent Officer will interview those folks to make sure that they give them green light to move forward from award, because they're the ones that basically are going to have to work with them and support them in becoming very successful and entering their own Celebree school.
Yeah. That's great. And how about for talent development, right? How is it as you've gotten older and you have more experience?
Yep.
How have you changed in that regard?
There's two pivotal points in the organization that I would think. I was at a meeting one time. We had a speaker come in as we were entering into the room. She said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm in the preschool business." She goes, "No, what do you do?" So I thought she didn't hear me. So I repeated myself.
I'm in the preschool.
I'm in the preschool business. She says, "No, that's an industry.
Right.
What do you do?"
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a great question. I got away from her real fast.
Right.
And went and sat down. I was like, what a great question.
That woman scares me.
She's scaring me, right? I'm about to become better, right?
She reminds me of my mother.
Yeah. So I go back to the company. I was like, what do we do?
Right. Great. Awesome.
And
that
they
you took
said,
it back.
they go, we protect, we educate, and we nurture.
Mhm.
I was like, whoa. So the whole company, protect, educate, nurture, and that became our mantra.
Right.
So about 10 years ago, I asked the same question. What do we do? And it came back that we grow people big and small.
Yeah, cool.
I was like, wow. Now what do we do inside of that?
Right.
Right. So to answer your question, we grow people big, which is our teachers and our team. So our teachers and our teams and our franchisees, they're put on skill paths and career paths.
Nice.
Right. Have the skills to be a better 4-year-old teacher, but also be on a career path to elevate your position.
Right.
And that's who we are today. And in return of that, they will make sure that our little ones, grow people small, are hitting their developmental milestones or getting ready to enter into kindergarten. So that is really the heartbeat of Celebree.
Well, all right. So the difference between, the entrepreneur and the non. Somebody asked you that question, and you didn't walk away and say, I don't know, she was weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, she doesn't hear very well. Yeah. No, you that hits you, and you took that moment, and you ran with that moment. That's it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Michelle, for this podcast specifically, From the Ground Up, what do we do? Go.
Edit.
You talk, we listen. In all seriousness, though, I think we have engaging conversations that are designed to enrich whoever's listening. And whatever we talk about, there's going to be some nugget of information that they can walk away with, and it's going to be different for everyone. So I think just hearing everyone's stories, we're storytellers.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah, very good.
She's good.
Now you know.
And I would like that raise that we've been talking about.
Here's what I do.
But you know what? Thank you for pointing that out, because you're touching on some things that I just do naturally,
right? And
you're really highlighting those. But like I'm a sponge, man. I'm curious, and I want to learn, and I want to grow, and I think that's kind of like my experience or my mantra with life. Like,
yeah, I mean, to say change is essential is half of it. Good change is essential, right? And ego is the enemy.
Yes, totally.
Ego is the enemy, right? And so that question can touch your ego or your curiosity, and it can create bad change or good change. And so, and that is listening. And by the way, some of these things are natural behaviors and some are learned behaviors. My personality, quite frankly, I know what I know, and it comes out. And then I hear people, but usually I have to absorb it and then come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to learn to put step 2 first.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so other people do it naturally. My son, for example, he's just a listener, right? And he just does that. So Michelle's a great listener, right? So everybody has a different way about them. And it's about how to develop that into a consistent pattern of good change.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, and you gave me credit, and I'll give you credit, right? you recognized that,
right,
and you made the adjustment.
Yeah, have to. Well,
because I'm sure enough people like me, have told you need to listen.
Yeah,
more. And you're like,
no, one person. She's sitting right over there. It's a unique skill, right? And so I think that's an interesting moment that you took that back. And so now, all right, so you're franchising, you're creating successful businesses around the country, and you're growing that, and you have great people in place, and you still don't feel like you've hit the hockey stick yet, which I love. I just love that, because we're like every great chart, right? They always look like you've hit that highest plane of growth until the next one.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like we're just getting warmed up.
well, so what is next?
We're just getting started.
What is next? I mean, well, talk to me, because we talked about you're not just, when you say what do you do now, it's not just that, the growing the big people and the little people. Now there's some new aspects to it, real estate.
Yep.
And securing the place to do that work for your franchise. Talk a little bit about that.
So,
because that's innovative.
Yeah. So two things. In the last 2 years, we've gotten heavily invested in real estate through HWG. Here We Go Properties, and that came from our franchise.
Here We Go Property.
Here we grow.
Yeah.
Here we grow properties. And so that came, from just being in the game every day, Leo, and just looking for opportunities. And when opportunities come, some people see them and some people don't. I'm very good at seeing those opportunities. So our real estate department would come down the hallway, and they would have this phenomenal location for the Kelly family, and but the Kellys didn't have the capital to open their business for $3 million, but also buy the piece of real estate. And so they came down and said, the Huffman family, buy it. And we said, yes. So by the time they came down the hallway 6 times, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Is this an opportunity? And so we created a mini real estate funds of family, friends, and franchisees, another bolt-on wealth creation for them to create wealth outside of the operating company. And we've been doing that for about 2 years now.
Oh, that's
We've
awesome.
bought I think we bought $65 million of real estate in the last 2 years.
Nice.
So win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. It's amazing. The parallels of our path are pretty unique and aligned, because we have a private equity company that's essentially the partners and other directors and et cetera, executives here at Verdant. So we go out and do our own investing together and it's a wealth creator, right? So it's to help people get opportunities they might not otherwise have.
And if you listen to your customers, they'll tell you what they're after.
That's the key.
They'll tell you what they want.
That's the key. Our saying around here is build the business as if the client were the architect.
Yes.
Right? If you just keep that steady focus,
yes,
that you're going to grow, because they're going to tell you.
I love that. I love that.
Grow.
They're the architect. We're the builder.
Yeah.
I love that.
They're the architect.
Yeah.
Let them design it, and then we'll run off and build it.
Yep.
And then let them keep changing it.
Yeah. So your question was, so what's next?
What's next?
A lot of cool things. So HWG's new for us. 2 years ago, we actually created the Huffman Family Foundation. This is totally designed just to make children's lives better. So
I'm going to want to dig into that, but let's keep going.
It's huge. So right now, I'm setting the stage for my kids,
right?
For Dawn and my kids. I'm after the generational wealth structure, setting that up and giving them an opportunity to participate in the business.
Right. So that's a topic we talk about frequently, right? Because and we talk about it with clients. It's a big part of what we do with clients, right? Is setting up legacy planning. And as I say to clients all the time, your view of this is always correct because it's your view, it's your family, it's your experience. The plan and the execution of your view may be flawed or may be done very, very well. And your education, you educate every day, your education of the family, your structure, your intention. So how do you view that? Because you and I came from the same thing where that wasn't an issue
right
when we were kids. And
nothing to structure.
There's nothing to structure. So now, but now you raise kids.
Yeah.
And I am not one of these that kids who come from affluence have no idea and they never will. That's nonsense, right?
I totally agree.
The key is being purposeful and intentional in your actions all the way through, from the beginning through where you are today. Yep. So tell me how you think about that, how you think about family, how you think about legacy, just a couple insights, not to get into your personal life, but philosophically.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the future. I'm excited. With Dawn, I have 5 amazing kids. That's not by chance. That's by design, meaning that, a long time ago when I decided, probably 6 years ago when I decided that we were going to create generational wealth and give them this opportunity, we started pouring into them from an educational standpoint.
Right.
We've been having Huffman family huddles probably for the last 6 months.
I love that.
I remember when they used to come down, Chris Steer, one of our family advisors. I like to back up 1 second. Every entity that we have, every brand we have, Leo, I have an advisory board attached to that brand.
That's great. That's great.
I'm not that good.
Right.
So I'm going to surround myself with folks that are that good. So even from the Huffman Family Foundation to the Celebree School franchising side, every entity that or every brand that we have has an advisory board attached to that. So when I decided that this is what I wanted, and it really sparked from being a Tiger 21 member and seeing other families and being exposed to generational wealth and what that looks like, and hearing the word steward of the wealth, like all those buzzwords.
Right.
I was like, I want that. Like, I want that for my family. So about 6 years ago, we started Huffman Family Huddles with Chris Steer, who's one of our advisors. And I remember him having to bribe the kid come to the house, and he had to bribe the kids literally with chicken minis just to come down the steps. And they come down with their blankets and their pillows. And they're like, oh, this is one of Dad's new things that he's doing. And here it is 6 years later. And we're still having those huddles. They're totally engaged right now. They get it.
Right.
They get it. Our daughter was 14 years old. Listen to this question at 14 years old. One of the questions she said, I want to understand better how this family makes money.
Yeah. Love that question.
Because she's seeing,
Love that.
She's seeing all these resources.
That's right.
And wondering, what is the same thing with my mom when what she did to me? What is going on here?
Right.
And now we share with them every huddle we get together. Like, it's an educational series. We're talking about the difference between a balance sheet and cash flow and assets. Like, we're into it, and our kids, man. The one in Salisbury right now called our head of sales the other day, all on his own, and said, called him out of the blue, headed to practice. How's sales?
That's
like, he goes, did you put Evan up to calling me? I go, what? He goes, Evan called me and want to know how sales were going. So when you're brought up,
I wonder where he got that from.
I know, right? That's all we talk about at dinner, right? So he hears it and they want to be a part of it, and they understand this generational wealth that we're creating. You're a steward. It's not yours.
Right. Yeah, that's and what is changing? It's changing slowly, but it's changing. When I started doing financial planning, estate planning for very large clients, 25 years ago, everything was about secrecy.
Wow.
Everything. That generation was all about secrecy.
It's a killer, Leo.
And it was build trusts that were like a vault that kids had zero control, and don't tell them anything. And what we saw was a generation that when the wealth hit, they had no idea, they had no concept, but more importantly, they had no education. They didn't know how to handle the money.
Yes.
The money was handled very poorly on a regular basis. Now, it's not for me to suggest that if you think your kids can't handle the information that you should tell them, because not everybody can, right?
Yeah.
There's a way to go about this.
Yeah.
But I'm always encouraging folks. It's like anything else in this world. You want to hit a golf ball long, you got to go to the range. You want to score a lacrosse goal, you got to go out and throw balls at the net.
Yeah.
If you want to run a successful business, right, you have to have experience and try things over and over. If you want your kids to be successful with generational money, you got to train them.
Yes.
You got to educate them. You got to train them. And you can't train them by saying, there may be some money someday, sometime, but
no.
They got to be involved in what it is what your personal vision is for them.
Yeah. And to your point, like, if you start that young,
right.
Listen, I hope I'm going to be here for a long time.
Right.
So I get to watch for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I ever feel as if they can't handle it, which I don't ever see that happening, then you can make those adjustments. But give them a fair shot.
Give them a fair shot.
Yeah.
Yep. My favorite line. Well, a couple, but my one line I heard my daughter say one time. My wife told me she overheard a conversation. One of her friends had come to our house, and we had a nice house, and girls' family probably grew up the way I did. And she walked in and she said, "Wow, this house is amazing. Are you rich?"
Aww.
To my daughter. And my daughter said, "No, I'm not rich. My parents are." I was like, there you go. That's it. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah. These kids, they're so smart, Leo.
Yeah, they're smart.
God, they're so smart. I just don't think we spend enough time with them, to be honest with you, in this conversation to get those questions
That's
out
right.
of them.
And they're instinctive.
They're not dumb.
They're totally
They
instinctive.
see what's going on around here.
Yeah. And so, you know, what I say to folks who want to keep it a secret is, I say to them all the time, by keeping it a secret, they may overestimate it.
Yes.
You're out there keeping a secret, like you're saying, if I've got 10, I want them to think I have 2 so they don't become spoiled rotten. They may think you have 50 because they don't know. So there's nothing good comes from that, in my opinion.
Nothing good, nothing normally good comes out of surprises.
Right.
And you nailed it, right? Like, when will they be ready?
Right. Yeah.
When you pass?
Yeah. So tell me what you're doing with the foundation. So, and I'm sure the family's involved in that.
Yes.
Right? That's probably one of the most fun things you can do as you get a few dollars in your pocket.
Yep.
Is affect people's lives and show the family how to affect people's lives.
Yeah, and there's also big lessons there too, because they have to understand. I gave you a great example. The foundation just did a pretty substantial donation to NDP here local, and the wing's gonna be called Huffman Commons. My daughter goes to school there.
Right. Yeah.
So think about the pressure that she like.
Yeah.
You know, now it's being revealed.
Right.
Right. I know you had a nice house. I know you had, but now your parents just did this. And she said when they were at assembly and they made that announcement, like all 300 girls turned around and stared at her.
Just what a teenage girl wants.
And she said, Dad, I just sank in my seat. And I'm like, honey, I'm sorry that you went through that.
Right.
But you should also sit up in your seat.
Right.
Because this is what the family's about.
Right.
And this is what the family's vision is.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I had twin daughters. I mean, reason when teenagers is not always easy to come by.
Yeah. She loves me to death.
But it does come back.
She loves me to death.
They always love the dad more.
Her and I butt heads all the time, and I see that, but she tells all her girlfriends, I'm just like my dad.
I love it.
Which is like the best compliment you could ever receive.
Yeah.
So,
For other entrepreneurs going through this, if you have teenage daughters, it gets better. They're fantastic and you love them, but usually they go away to college. They come back. I would say they go away to college. They come back the first year, and they transition from the teenager who's battling you to the adult who knows far more than you do because they've gone to college and lived on their own.
Right.
And so you fight them about them having to follow rules, and it's about sophomore year in college on that they start to say, oh, okay,
yeah,
now we're ready to have a real conversation with mom and dad.
Let me go there for 1 second. I remember, and listen, I get it, right? We went through it. They're trying to capture or their independence, right? And we've been their parents for 17, 18 years. And we're not willing to just turn the switch off. Right. I remember one time we were in the kitchen. My oldest son was giving my wife a bunch of mouth. And I just had this thought. I'm watching him and I'm like, I just had this thought. And I went up to him. I said, Olin, let me ask you a question. He goes, what? I said, do you think we're equal? Leo, that's
such a great question.
Right? Because like you're talking like you're in charge here. And he looked me dead in the eye and he says, yeah, Leo, I'll give you the short version.
Didn't go well.
But I'm like, get your in the study. And him and I went in there and like he really believed that he had got to the point where like we were equal.
Right.
And that was about a 30-minute conversation.
That's a good one.
But it was such a great conversation. But the lesson that came out of that was really for me too.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, he's becoming a man now.
Right.
And I can't keep treating him like a child, but I will make sure you're clear of my rules and the way you will respect your mom. And he's such a good kid, so I don't want you to think like he was disrespecting his
mom. They're great kids. They're just going through it.
Yes.
And they can't help it. And also, the one thing I always and this I think I've had a pretty good history of. Whenever I'm in a negotiation or a conversation, or especially a difficult one, right? What I have always tried to do, and I think I do well, Michelle might disagree, is I put myself in their mind, right? We all
Totally.
argue from our point of view.
Totally.
And we all opine from our point of view, but I genuinely try to put myself in the other side's point of view, and it does make you a better negotiator when you genuinely not rationalize what you think it should be, but genuinely ask yourself, how are they seeing this?
Yeah.
And so from a kid's standpoint, for example, they're screaming at you, treat me like an adult.
Totally.
Right? You're still seeing me as the kid in diapers. You still tell stories about when I was a kid. Stop. Tell me I'm an adult. Be impressed with me.
Yeah.
Love me as an adult. And that's what they're screaming at you.
Yeah.
Right? They just don't know how to say it.
How long has
really
it been since when you got that, started putting yourself in other people's shoes?
A long time. That's something I've been able to do just because it's effective, right? It's very effective but you have to be honest. You can't rationalize yourself into a decision. You have to be honest and say, how do they see it? Right? I'm gonna give this what is going through their head.
Yeah.
And listen, when you're in a negotiation, it's a powerful tool. Because if you're the only one doing it, you're gonna win.
Totally.
You're gonna win. That's
Totally.
That's a skill that if you don't have, learn it.
Yeah. And the reason I asked you, because I've only discovered that recently.
Yeah.
And what I love about that, because sometimes my approach is hard.
Right.
And so if you come from the other person's shoes, your approach is much softer.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about in a negotiation.
Yeah.
Right? You come across much softer in your...
Well, yes and no. Sometimes it's not softer. Sometimes you can continue to be aggressive, but you're doing it in a more informed way. Right? You're driving down a different lane with that understanding of where that person's coming from. So yeah, it's
powerful.
It's powerful. It's powerful. But again, it's about being honest. It's about putting your ego aside a little bit.
Yeah.
Because your ego wants to fight the other way.
Well, I want to win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. I want to win. Right. And if back to business, if we're missing targets, like what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to hear about excuses. I want to hear about where is the opportunity, where's the chokehold, and what are you doing to fix it?
Yeah.
You've identified it. Now what are you doing to fix it?
Well, I'm going to ask a question I ask everybody. What was the single most difficult and problematic point of your career, and how did it affect you?
I think being an entrepreneur, nobody can really answer that question.
Right.
Because there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Yeah.
And I equate them like speed bumps, Leo.
Yeah.
We hit them, we address them, and we get through tomorrow.
Right.
And we just keep on going.
Right.
Focused on what we're out to accomplish as an organization and what I'm out to accomplish as a leader. Yeah.
So I think that's great, right? Because as business leaders, as entrepreneurs, as owners or founders, however you want to label it, one of the things you have to love to do is be a problem solver. And you can't be a great problem solver unless you have problems. And so I think folks that are in the organizations, all these different organizations, they look up at leadership and they want to avoid problems. I don't want problems. Keep problems away from me, and that again is a big difference. If you're a problem solver, you need problems to practice your craft.
There's no such thing.
Right.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
It's a myth. There's no such thing. If you don't have problems, then you're not doing much.
Well, that's why you have 75 schools.
You're not doing much, right? We're problem seekers, and the older I get, what I'm looking for is a team of people that can identify and solve those problems without me.
The president of our company, Tom, knew one of the things I love the most about Tom, and I'll never forget this moment. We were in a meeting early on. We had the partner meeting, all of our partners here and all the folks that were wonderful about carrying our vision. We're in a partner meeting, and I started an exercise, and I said, look, we're all going to be honest, right? We're going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of who we are in this plan we were developing. And Tom came up, and people gave him a bunch of positive things, which is easy to do with Tom. And a couple of people gave him a couple of constructive criticisms, and they were very fair, and they were very they were polite, and they were nice. And so we were like, okay, next person. And Tom said, no, wait a minute, come on, guys, You got to hit me harder than that. How many people would do that?
Wow.
Right? You know, a lot of people would say, got past that uncomfortable moment. Tom's like, no. Come on.
There's more than that.
There's more. Hit
Oh,
me.
I love that.
Right. And so that's part of being open and there is more. And there is no such thing as no problems.
Was he right?
No.
Was there more?
He's perfect.
Was there more?
Yeah, there was more.
There you go.
Yeah, there
I
was
love
more.
that.
There was more. But that's how Tom is.
Yeah.
Full time.
He wants to know the truth.
Wants-
If we don't get to the truth, we can't fix it.
Can't fix it. Can't be better. Can't fix it. Can't be better. So the foundation, you're doing everything is education and kids.
All around children, making children's lives better. So whether that's from an educational standpoint, we're huge philanthropists for Ronald McDonald House in all 17 states, because Ronald McDonald House is in all 17 states, and then we'll pick one of the area children's hospitals.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
And our children, a part of our family governance is that, and when our children turn 18, then they get a board seat on the foundation.
that's great.
So our daughter just joined.
Oh, that's so much fun.
I almost teared up. We were in an advisory board meeting, and she came, and we said to her, now that you're 18, you're now allowed, not allowed, but you can sit on the board, and would you like that responsibility? And she says, not only will I accept the responsibility, but I would be honored.
That's beautiful.
I almost lost it.
Beautiful.
But that's years and years and years of having those conversations, Leo.
Yeah.
Back to what we were talking
Awesome.
about, making sure you're educating your children.
Yeah. That's so cool. So you got a podcast.
I do.
Yeah. Tell me about your podcast.
Enriching Your Empire with Richie Huffman.
It's Enriching Your Empire with Richie Huffman.
Yeah. So it's the same as yours. Like I really want to help entrepreneurs and pour into people either that own their own business already or thinking about starting their own company.
That's great.
And a lot of the family side. I've had my kids on there talking about what it's like to grow up.
You had your family advisor on there.
I had Chris Steer.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had Preston and Olin, Preston and Evan on there talking about what it's like to
that's
grow
fun.
up in a house of
That's
of an
a great idea.
entrepreneur.
Michelle,
dad.
write that down.
Yeah. Haven't had my son, the oldest one, because he's a Marine. He actually,
God bless him.
He's a Marine.
God bless him.
So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. God bless him.
Yeah.
That's
So I got to get him on next.
yeah.
But the foundation's doing really good work. And again, that's, I've been a board member of the Ronald McDonald House here in Maryland for years. And that really inspired me to take it across the different states and use our franchisees as the philanthropists on helping those local houses in those states.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up with this. The Richie Huffman way. What would you tell the folks out there if you had to sum it up and say, okay, here guys, this is it. These are the couple main points that I want everybody to think about.
it's going to be simple for me. I think, and you touched on this a little bit, Leo. What do you want?
Right.
Like, if you don't know what you want, then you'll never get there. Right. So being crystal clear on who do you want to be?
Right.
What do you want this family to be, stand for, known for, and this company, if you have a company. But I think I would start with myself. Like, who am I?
Know thyself. We talk about
Yeah.
that.
Who am I? Who am I? How do I? And my kids will always use this against me. That's not who you are. I'm like, wow, you're right. Wow, you're right.
That's right.
I'm so proud of them. But
By the way,
it
that
hurts.
conversation we had the other day works in reverse.
Yeah.
They've known you since they were.
Yes. And when they call you out, it stings.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're like, that's good.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
You got it.
Right.
So I think it would be, again, it's knowing what does this look like? Right? What does this family look like in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? What do I want to look like? Who do I want to be?
Right.
And then having a real plan, having a real plan to get there, and then understanding. And you said this earlier. Understanding. I guarantee you one thing: it will not be easy.
Right. I hope it's not.
I guarantee you this: it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of days. I mean, we all do a lot. I don't know, but I'm sure I know you well enough. I do a lot of self-talking, my brother.
Right. That's right.
Every morning. You know what I have right now on my mirror in my bedroom? I got one thing: I will win.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a cocky way.
No.
I mean, I need that right
Right.
now.
Right. Right.
I
What drives you?
I got to self-talk.
Yeah.
Well, what drives me is that vision of who I will
Right.
be.
Yeah.
Now, is there a plan to get there? Yeah, there's a very clear plan how to get there. Then you got to build a team around you that can share in the same one, and you will have to make some tough calls.
Right.
I'm in the middle of making some tough calls now because certain people will only get you so far.
That's right.
Have I ever ran, 150 school location? No. But one thing that I'm really good at is surrounding myself with people that have.
Right.
And I'm constantly searching for that knowledge to be that person.
That's great.
But every day it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And you should expect it to be hard.
Right.
But you got to just keep going.
And embrace it.
You
Have fun.
Listen, if you want to win and you want that vision, because that vision, as they said, is like one step away.
Right.
And I can guarantee you this. I mean, I've probably had, I never have 2 bad days in a row.
That's great.
I never have 2 bad days in a row.
That's actually, we put that up, right? Never have 2 bad days.
I never have, like yesterday was a bad day.
Right.
Tomorrow is not a bad day.
Right.
Because we figured that out.
Right.
And what you thought was so critical really wasn't.
Right. Right. It's like, it reminds me of that Navy SEAL Jocko.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that little clip he has? Did you run into a problem? Good.
Yeah.
Did you fail? Good.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying good.
You're going to get better.
And at the end, he's like, that's the only way.
Yeah.
Right?
You're going to get better. And I tease my wife every morning. I wake up every single morning. I say her one thing after I tell her I love her. I say, today's a big day.
Right. Love it.
And what that does for me, it triggers me to be looking for those things. Like today's going to be a big day. Having a podcast with Leo, it's going to be a big day, right? And I mean that because I'm going to learn something from you today.
I appreciate that.
So it's just, it's the mindset. Don't ever give up. Keep pushing. And that vision can change, but you have to start with something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, this was fun.
Thank you,
This
brother.
was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really
we could talk for another hour at least.
Easily. Although I don't know what that big giant red light Michelle keeps up in front of my eyes, but
You've ignored every single hand gesture that I've made. No, I was so enthralled by the entire conversation.
Pay no
You are
attention
just-
to the lady behind the glass.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, brother.
I really appreciate you coming in, and thank you everybody for watching From the Ground Up. As always, happy to have you listen to this incredible story from a great entrepreneur who built an incredible business and then franchised the business and now continues to grow. It was a great conversation. We're glad you were here, and we hope you like and subscribe us. We are on all the major podcast sites, including Spotify, YouTube, Apple, and Michelle?
FromTheGroundUp.fm.
FromTheGroundUp.fm, where you can get all of our podcasts. Thanks again, and I'm glad you were with us.